Hey everybody, what's going on? We're here with the Timeless reading. Welcome to the channel. The first card that we have out is Ten of Swords. I'm also seeing Five of Wands on the bottom of the deck. This can be about something that happened that still feels like there's a lack of conflict resolution, and maybe you're feeling like you want to do something about this. You could be like trying to figure out your feelings about it, what to do if you're going to do something. I'm seeing you looking at something and you're like in a position of power where it feels like you could do something about this. See how you're the King of Wands. See how the King of Wands is looking sort of at this? This puts you in a powerful role where you can do something about this if you want to. This is like a situation that concluded or something that happened, but you could feel like, for some of you, you feel like there's a lack of clarity. Can be that there's a lack of closure, just within this situation particularly. So you could feel like you could do something about it, like maybe not wanting to leave it like that. You could just be having mixed feelings about it too. But again, like I'm seeing you're in a position of power here with this situation. So you may be the one to make the choice, or you may be the one that can do something if you want to. That responsibility may fall onto you. Like you're the one that gets to determine what happens here. This looks like it's something that happened within a like somewhat close relationship of yours. I'm seeing something having to do with the actual like state of the interaction. I feel like you know that you could show up, but you don't know if you want to do that. Like, you know that you could show up and be like, here's what I have to offer. Like, you know that you're capable of that, but this is making it seem like maybe you don't want to do that, or maybe you're unsure. Maybe you have reasons why you wouldn't, or you feel kind of stuck in your head about this, or you feel anxious about it for some reason. Or it just doesn't seem like it seems like a complicated situation like that. Maybe there also is a question of like, would I have enough if I came to the table here? Like, would this, yeah, maybe that is the thing. Like, would this be enough? Let's clarify. What is this about? Like, what would you be feeling stuck about here? Having to wait? Is it the right time? That can be a major part of this. You could even feel like somebody needs space, or somebody's taking space. This feels like a personal opportunity, like something that would maybe be able to be watered within your personal life. It's like rather than having a dead end, wanting to, I don't know, like revive something. There's definitely a sense of connection here that I'm seeing. Let's get further. Definitely seems like a situation that happened between you and another person. You sort of dealing with whatever's got you feeling like this right now. This is feeling stuck. Feeling like you can't make progress, or you're not making progress, or like you're not going anywhere, or you feel sort of like you're hitting a block or hitting a wall mentally that you can't get through or get past. I'm seeing that sort of be the first thing that needs to be dealt with here. Maybe in order to see this clearly what's happening, because you could have this shaded sort of by too many thoughts that are getting in the way of you seeing things clearly. So you grounding whatever that is like really the first step. And it seems too like this is actually linked with like what had happened, like maybe how things had ended, or like what that situation was. I'm seeing Virgo here. Seems like you've had some time to think about this. So whatever this thing was that concluded, it feels like privately you're like thinking about it. Maybe you feel like you can't let it go right now. But I think that you're thinking about it to be like, should I do something? Like that type of thing. To have the King of Wands here. So this is you knowing that you could do something, but you may feel like what you have to offer, like maybe it's not enough, or there could be a worry about that, or like, is it going to be, not even just that, but it can be like, is it going to be reciprocated? You know, like, is this going to be mutual if I do this? And so that's where like these worries can be coming from. It's something that directly has to do with like the interaction or the exchange presently, and what that would be like if you made a move now. Like, would they have what I want? Do I have what they want? Like, can this be something that works out within the exchange? And then feeling almost like you can't break through some type of wall mentally here. That being why it needs to be addressed first and foremost. This is about something that has already concluded, like the situation has already happened, but I'm seeing you be in a spot where you're like, I just can't let this go. And I'm seeing you also want to, like, you want to be able to make progress within this situation as well. It feels like making headway, wanting to make headway. But maybe you feel like you haven't, I don't know, like seen the light, or like seen something that you need to see. What are you reflecting on? Self-advocacy, this can be boundaries, it can be communicating what you're good with, what you're not good with, what you're expecting, those types of things. Some of you feel like somebody's setting boundaries with you. For those of you that are identified with this Queen of Swords energy, you may be thinking about like how things happened, and in order to ensure that they don't happen like that again, there may be things that you're doing. So you could be sizing something up, being like, is this balanced? Is this balanced? Does this relationship work? It's something that has to do like specifically with the exchange is what I'm seeing. I am seeing Eight of Cups, so this can feel like there's something that's being determined here. You can feel like something's not enough for you, actually. Like something may not reflect your values, you could feel. And you could know that, but you could still have a hard time maybe doing what needs to be done because of that. Maybe you're even just trying to look at that for now because you don't have an answer. You could be looking at something and being like, does this reflect my values or not? I think that you already know that it doesn't necessarily, but you could be having just a hard time letting go mentally. It feels like staying stuck thinking rather than doing something and being in that spot, because it's like I can't get out of here. And rather than dissipating this energy, continuing to hold on to it. But you may also feel like the reason you feel blocked is because you're stagnant right now and you're not releasing what needs to be released. It's kind of like you know that you're holding on to something that when you check in, there isn't necessarily you may be motivated to hold on to this just because that's how it's been and not because you want to do that. Because I'm seeing like when you actually look at this, I'm getting really strong Virgo energy. Virgo is the only sign that I'm seeing here. I'm also seeing Aries, Scorpio, Sagittarius. You're doing things, changes are happening. It feels too like because of maybe how you feel you've stepped up within your life, that other things are being impacted by this, and it's sort of like a process, a shedding process that's happening right now. It feels like you know what you want to do with Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups, when we have Six of Pentacles, when we have Eight of Cups, Six of Pentacles can be like whatever situations that I'm in right now. It feels like this has to do with you and another person. Whatever situations I'm in right now that are not feeling like worth my energy, where I feel like I'm giving and not getting anything in return, like that type of thing. Like I'm showing up and I'm giving what I have to give, and then I feel like that's not met, and so it feels like there's a lack of balance within that. I'm seeing you be in a spot where you're like seeing what's going on. So it doesn't seem like you're not noticing. Like Queen of Swords looking at that is like, I'm well aware of these situations where I feel like I'm showing up and I'm not being met by that same type of energy. And then Eight of Cups, same type of energy, meaning something that allows a relationship to continue within a state of equality. Something feels like there's an inequality here, because something is not reflective actually of your values. You know that, that's why the Eight of Cups is here. So Eight of Cups is like, I see that, and I see that every time I'm like showing up and doing this thing, I'm always shortchanged in some way. Energetically, it can be like with your money, it can be lots of things, but it comes down to your energy at the end of the day. You know that something lacks reciprocity. You feel a lack of emotional fulfillment because of that. But I think that there's this part of you that's like resistant even to accepting that, because you don't want to let go of it. Because in your head, it still provides you with some type of stability, even if it's like slowly maybe pulling from you. So maybe this is something where it's not like a crazy like difference between the two. So maybe it's just like a slight issue, like incremental even. And you can feel like that happening, but it may be like a slower thing that, it's like if you're showing up somewhere and you feel like you get ripped off really badly, you get to a spot where you're like, I'm never doing that again. Like I've completely been taken advantage of. However, when we enter into situations where we feel like the difference is like less, when we feel like it's more subtle and less severe, we can stay within those situations longer, because it's like, maybe it'll turn into what I want, or like maybe it's not that bad, like whatever this is that you're trying to tell yourself, or maybe this does provide me with like something that I need, but you already know that it doesn't provide you actually with what you're looking for. Maybe it's providing you with things, but it's not what you actually want. It's not what you actually are looking for. That doesn't mean it doesn't provide you with anything. It's just things that aren't actually aligned with your values. Your emotional values, actually. But you may also be the type of person too that you don't always prioritize your emotional values. And that can be something that's tricky too, because maybe you're like, okay, well, like monetarily I'm getting what I need, or like mentally I'm being stimulated, but then on the emotional front, because it's more of a like invisible energetic thing, you can sort of like push that to the back. But I'm seeing it pop up for you, so it seems like it's coming to the front and you can't really unsee it now at this point. But what your problem is right now, or like where you're struggling right now, is to actually like release something that you're holding on to that doesn't hold actually aligned value. So like your values, this situation is not compatible with it. That's to say that you could put a different person in here that could be satisfied within this because they have different values, but you already know what your values are. And this doesn't align with your particular values. So that's not to say that anything's wrong with the situation, it's just incompatible. And you know that, otherwise you wouldn't be feeling this way. So that's really what's at the basis of this. I'm seeing King of Cups, which can be a water energy. I'm seeing Queen of Swords, which can be an air energy. I'm seeing King of Wands, which can be fire energy. I was also seeing Leo too, and I'm looking at Virgo. So somebody has prominent Virgo placements, or a prominent Virgo placement, or they really embody that energy. That can even be your energy right now because you're analyzing this and trying to problem solve, but you already have broken down the whole issue. You just need to do something about it rather than just sitting and thinking about it, because thinking about it isn't going to change anything, and you've already concluded what needs to be concluded. This means too that you could be looking at something and be like, maybe you're gonna like keep a relationship, maintain a relationship, but you're not gonna do certain exchanges that feel like they lack reciprocity. So that may like change the maybe structure of your relationship, because it can be like when we have maybe conversations about like creative things, or we do creative projects together, I feel really fulfilled. But then when I'm trying to explain to you what's going on emotionally to me, I feel like there's a lacking there, like something is not working there. So maybe you're only going to engage in like projects with this person, you know, like something like that, rather than relying on them emotionally. But I feel like there's a part of you that's just resistant. Like even though you know what it is, you may be having a hard time, like, I don't know, not continuing to do the same thing over and over again. And maybe part of you is like expecting a different result, or being like, I can just put up with it. But it's like bleeding through now energetically. So that's saying something else. I think too, at the end of the day, it's recognizing that you can stay in this situation if you want to and keep doing the same things that you're doing and keep thinking about it but not actually change anything. Or you could recognize that if you want to find the fulfillment that you're looking for, like give yourself an opportunity to actually explore that, what's going to have to happen is you releasing the things that are not aligned with your values. Because you're holding on to stuff that's not aligned with your values, and that's where this is coming from. But it may require a leap of faith on your end, and that can be something where you're like, really, I have to let go of it? It's like, really, I have to like jump off of this to get to the other place, but it's necessary. Like maybe you feel like it's not just a step, but actually a little bit of a hop that you'd be taking, and you can feel a bit uncomfortable with that. Seems like you're just being encouraged more than anything to like hold your values close currently. Necessary to enforce. Enforcing means just like not participating in things that you feel are not reflective of your values. Which means that if you are looking for certain things or needing certain things in order for your needs to be met, it means sizing situations up, which I'm getting you already have, but being honest with yourself about that. Because I just get this vibe like you may keep going into the same interaction the same way and being like, I'm unsatisfied or this isn't working for me, but it's like, but you keep doing it. So like you've already realized that. But the part where it's like actually doing something about it, I'm seeing that be like where the struggle is. But you actively have to advocate for yourself in order for something to change. And I'm getting that you may not be doing that because you may still be a bit resistant because of what this would mean then. But it seems like you're also simultaneously like holding on to your thoughts in a way that feel like is kind of caging you in. And you may think that it's helpful, but you may find that rather than doing like mental stuff where you could be trying to like rationalize and think your way out of this, you may find that it's going to be actually an emotional solution, an internal solution. So this can be like a therapeutic type of thing or like a more holistic approach, because it doesn't feel like there's necessarily a holistic approach that's been looked at this with. It feels like you've just been leaning into here with the Virgo energy, just leaning into like, what do I think about this, and pondering and pondering and pondering, and it's like it's not going to do anything. Like you actually have to marry thoughts and action together in order to work out this situation. So it feels like needing to unite those energies rather than just like thinking about it but not doing anything more than that. And it seems like maybe some recharging is needed as well. Yeah. What I'm getting is that right now what you're seeing is sort of like where your shadow pops up. It's like where you sabotage yourself and keep yourself in situations that you don't feel like are aligned, but the things that you do to avoid doing something about it, actually. Because I think also you may be at a point where like I'm sick of this, or like why do I keep doing this to myself, and not want to be in that space anymore. So I think that's actually what's motivating you at the end of the day, because I feel like you're at your limit. Like something either recently happened or happened and impacted you enough where you're like, why do I keep experiencing this, or I don't want to experience this again. So this sharpness or this pain that you're experiencing, it's actually helping because I'm seeing it be a motivator for you. So even though you can look at something and be like, how is the pain actually helping? It's because it needs to be severe enough for you to actually do something about it. And you may find that something is going to become maybe more and more intense until something is done. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.